Hello. Today I present my third attempt at making my dream game, Decked Out. I've been chasing the North Star of this game development for the past 3 years. The name of the game is very simple. It's supposed to be all card based. Get it? Like you're decked out in cards and gear? Currently, it's been 6 months since I started this project, in which I've been developing the fundamental systems. I did run into a few issues along the way though, but don't worry, I fixed most of them. Most of them. The biggest issues mostly pertain to the items, such as jellies from slimes and metal scraps from laser firing robots. Wait, how the heck did those get into the forest? The first issue I ran into while making the game was animations. The root cause of the issue was that I didn't really know how I wanted to make them. I was originally thinking of making sprite sheet, but that takes too much time, so I decided to instead butcher every sprite before putting it into the game and then piece it together in there. Here's a sprite sheet that I was working on, being a character and their walking animation. It took an entire 2 hours to create this. Now imagine spending that much time for each and every character and enemy in the game. It would take ages. The main issue I had was with the items. I wanted them to be clickable in the inventory to display their stats, description, and other useful information. The function I was using to detect button clicks was called onPointerClick, which allows me to specify which mouse button does what action. This straight up didn't work, but after a few days of banging my head against the wall, I found something on the internet. It said I needed to add an event system object to the game, which was allowed the function to, function. Unfortunately, it didn't work when I was trying to get the player into the dungeon. When the player starts the game from the main menu, they're sent to a hub world where a mine entrance is located. When clicked, it should send the player to a dungeon where they do the actual combat. I instead resorted to an older function called onMouseOver and checked if the correct mouse button was being pressed while it was over the mine entrance. Another issue I had was with my item data structure. Okay, I know that sounds a bit complicated, but I can explain. It's basically like choosing different things to put in each paragraph of an essay. I was trying to see what kinds of information to put in different types of items, such as swing speed on swords or projectile duration on magic weapons and such. I was flipping back and forth between different options for the longest time before I found this video.
Once I had my stats in a collection, I knew I needed some sort of container for that stat itself, and I chose to use a scriptable object. The scriptable object's going to do for me, though, is it's going to keep my data separate from the logic that is using that data, which I like.
Using scriptable objects allows me to more easily create items and equipment and tweak their parameters. This should also be useful when creating different variations of abilities that will be attached to the cards that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. Okay, so those were some of the issues I had and how I fixed them. I hope to continue building a few more things into the base of the game before going all out and adding content.